Well, good morning. My name is Brian Hart. I'm the Business Development Director at DMF Lighting. Joining me today is my colleague, Terry Dietz, who's our Northeast Regional Sales Director. And
make sure you pin Brian.
Excuse me?
I said, make sure you pin Brian. 3 dots upper right-hand corner, you can pin him, and then you get like much better view.
Cool.
So.
Okay. So what we're going to talk about today in our 10-minute period is the DMF module that is kind of the heart of our system. This is a product that we invented that is really quite innovative because the driver and the chip co-reside inside of this hockey puck sized module. And during the pandemic, we took advantage of a lot of time and talent here at DMF. And we actually made some significant improvements to the existing platform. In our previous version, you could dim this to 5%. Today, you can actually dim it down to 1%. The output is also increased. Previous versions were 750 or 1,000 delivered lumens. Today, we can go to 1,250 with the driver on the inside. So this platform is very robust. It's very proven. It's got about a 7-year history. And one of the other big advancements we made is we've created a different optical system. And I can kind of show you here. This is an optic that DMF created in-house, and it's a native beam of 15 degrees. So this fits into our downlights, it fits into our cylinder products, but from that 15 degrees, what you do is use a series of windows that simply snap into the face of the optic, and these will in turn change the beam angle from 15 degrees, 25, 40, 60, and ultimately 90-degree beam angles from a single platform. So when you specify this, we're going to build them to your exact specification at factory. But if something changes, or maybe you need to add an accessory like a hex cell louver, those can be realized downstream, tool-free. You simply pop in the optic that you prefer, and you're off to the races. So this is our standard downlight module, and the companion piece is what we call the DRD4. And the DRD4 is actually our adjustable product. And so what we can do with this, as you aim it within a fixture, you can actually articulate it laterally. You can also change the beam angle. This little window here on the front, say you have a smaller piece of art that you were illuminating and they change it to something larger, you can simply remove this optical window and change the beam spread. 20 degree, 30 degree, or 40 degrees are available. And these are all done in the field. So one of the genius design elements of DMF is as the situation changes and you need to have flexibility in your illumination, you can either have a downlight, you can add any time a different solution. Everything simply plugs in. So you can change it safely. You don't need an electrician. So that's a very, very fast look at the modules. And one of the reasons we wanted to start with the modules is that they are the core component to the DMF cylinder system. So our cylinders use these optics in a couple different ways. This one that I'm holding here is our mid-size, which is an 8-inch height. We also offer a small one down here at 4 inches. And then we offer a larger one, which is a 12-inch height. And the internal optic we can see here is actually the module. So just like we have in a downlight, you can actually change this. We change the color. You can change it to an adjustable on the inside like this one, in our little 4-inch. But these platforms, as we've seen the trend towards fewer ceilings in architectural spaces, cylinders have become a very large and important ambient light generation tool. And so one of the nice things about having just wide throw illumination and also having the ability to do accenting out of the same platform, the same body, the same look, that gives you the flexibility of not having to add, say, a track head into the equation. You can very simply just use the same cylinder body, but have the utility of adjustment into the product. So in addition to our standard downlight, we also offer, this is brand new, during COVID, we were very busy here at DMF. We now offer an direct solution. And so this is all part of a modularized system. So here in Los Angeles, we actually hand build these every day. There's literally millions of ways to configure the cylinder. You can have a different color temperature light coming up. You can have an adjustment down. You can have a different color coming down. And then there's also a series of decorative elements, and all of them quite simply thread into the body of the cylinder, and you can have a really cool look. You can see this clear line on the bottom. This is machined acrylic. We can do a lower profile version of it, which is this little guy here. And one of the nice details here is that what's going to happen when you use one of the frosted elements, you get a really nice wide and diffuse spread of light. It's also very visually comfortable, so people can actually not have a lot of glare built up, but it makes for very comfortable viewing, whether it's in a corporate interior entry or you may want to use it over a kitchen. It looks particularly great on our little 4-inch cylinder. So this is one of the 2 decorative options. We also have this really cool little hyperbolic trim. And like everything we do, they install very simply, very cleanly. One quick twist of the wrist, and you can have whichever look you like. This is our standard bezel, which is going to be color keyed to any of our 4 different cylinder colors. Our standards are white, black, bronze, and the polished satin. You can also get this hyperbolic in each of those 4 primary colors. We do a lot of custom colors on these products. If you get us a paint code, we will typically paint those for you out here. This is a snoot that we've created. And what the snoot is doing, it's giving us a little bit more glare protection, and it's going to reduce the throw of the light a little bit, but it's really designed for maybe a little higher mounting height where you don't want to have a lot of ambient glow coming into the view. So one of the other really cool design elements, our engineers love to come up with really clever solutions. And this is one of the classic ideas. We have this beautiful cast piece that no one ever sees because it's covered. But what we did with this is very nice. It's actually magnetic. So the front of the cylinder has no exposed hardware, this really thin line canopy, and it looks really, really clean at the ceiling plane. So, yeah, and one point about the indirect, I kind of showed this, I don't know how well it's coming through, but there's actually 3 arms that come into the center hub for mounting. And the assumption would be that when you put this up to the ceiling that you're going to beam the Mercedes logo onto the ceiling. That doesn't actually happen. It actually is a very, very diffuse, nice, gentle source of light. You get a nice bounce off the ceiling, and it just adds to the overall ambient space, kind of fills the volumetric brightness gap that you sometimes get when you only use the cylinders. So these are available in the 8-inch height and the 12-inch height in the indirect direct application. You can also mount them with the cord, of course. We have a hard stem mount, and then we also mount these to the wall. We actually have a wall plate. There is a very interesting addition to this, which is we do offer a cap that fits on top of the cylinder that is actually watertight. And that's one of the things that we see when people are gathering in a lot of multifamily situations. You have grills outside, you have maybe some kind of a shade maker, a pergola. This gives you the ability to actually use really high quality light out there without worrying about snow melt getting in or rain getting into the fixture.
What's the lumen package for that, Brian?
The lumen package and the indirect direct is going to be a combination of optics up and down, not to exceed 2,500 combined lumens. So the typical application we see is 1,500 lumens down and 1,000 lumens coming out. So one of
what if it's just direct?
Excuse me?
If it's just direct?
If it's just direct, we can go to 2,500 lumens.
Okay, and then your new and revised module, your standard module that you showed earlier, yes. Because didn't that go up in lumens when you guys revised it? 1,250. Okay.
And later this year, we'll be launching a 1,500 lumen version of it. We actually figured out the thermals on that one too, so that's in process. One thing we wanted to show you is a little larger scale accessory for our cylinders. And in this case, you can actually thread this on to any of our cylinder bodies. You can do the 4-inch, the 8-inch, or the 12-inch. And this is obviously has a significantly different look in terms of the appearance of the cylinder. Where we see these used quite a lot is you may have a whole sea of cylinders, but maybe there's a gathering space. Maybe there's a little work table. You may want to drop something that's over it. And the beauty of having the ability to add a decorative element like this is that you have the same exact color, the same exact dimming, the same maintainability to use these different accessories. So this dome cylinder is 14 inches in diameter. It's about 10 inches tall. We also make a flat version of it. It's kind of a flat round, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's a flattened version of this that comes down also about 14 inches by about 7.5 inches in height.
Brian, are your IES files updated with the additional lumens?
Website all over. We also have Revit files. So you can go to dmflighting.com. Anything we may not have listed yet because there's so many iterations of this, we're more than happy to get you a custom file.
Well, hello, everybody. Again, thank you very much for your time today. Make sure you pin me up in the top right-hand corner, the 3 dots, and select pin so that you can see me. I am not Mary Petty. I am Aaron Brown from Synergy. Unfortunately, Mary's a little under the weather today, kind of similar to the weather that we've got outside. So I have the most NovaFlex samples in my basement, so I get to fill in for her today. So the main product that I want to talk about is the new Line 2.0 series from NovaFlex. Now, why do we call it Line 2.0? That's pretty simple. It is a line voltage for the plug right to the end of it, line of light, and generation 2. So the original line product launched probably about a year or so ago. And since then, we've really taken some pretty significant updates to the product that I'm going to talk about today. So first of all, again, this is a 120 volt only product. We have no power supplies. We have no remote drivers, nothing else that is needed. Now, we're taking 120 volts straight to the tape itself. We can do it with a cord and plug, or it can be hardwired with just leads on the end of it. Now, why NovaFlex specifically, and why this product? This is great for applications where you have long runs, where you don't have any breaks and you have one power feed. That's also dimmable. Or if you need to be able to get a much higher output and really don't have the ability to use a much larger product in there. So the Line 2.0 is excellent for those long run applications. Now, what you might not know about NovaFlex, if you're not completely familiar, they do all of the cutting of this product right at the factory. So you send us drawings, you send us run lengths, we cut it, we solder it, we mold the end caps themselves, and we send you out a complete product cut to your length that the contractor can install right in the field. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the mounting options for this. Actually, before I do that, so in terms of output, we can get about 400 lumens a foot out of this product out of one single feed. And again, it is dimmable using most Lutron Triac, ELV, and incandescent dimmers itself. I actually plugged this one into a Caseta earlier today to play around with it, and it dims down very smoothly. So again, Triac, ELV, MLV, or incandescent dimmers, they are listed on the spec sheet and also on the NovaFlex website as well.
Tunable white?
Getting there.
Okay, sorry.
We are getting there. So yes, we won't jump ahead yet, but actually the cool thing about is about how this product mounts. So because it's a flexible type product, we have that vertical bend, a little bit of the horizontal, but Mary probably doesn't want me to show that anyway. So when we have those applications where we need to do a vertical bend to it, you can see we have these mounting clips that come on and off very easily. Contractor installs the clip and then pops the tape right into it. And we can get some of those wave effects. Now, the problem with that is we do get some of those wave effects. So if you're in a cove where you have a direct line of light and you need to keep it flat, we have a channel as well that this can sit right into. Now, this is just an IP6 listed product right in a channel. So this is okay to go outside, not need a lens on it as well. However, if you want to use the product with just a lens, no channel, that's fine. You can do that. We have clear and frosted lenses. Honestly, the clear lens really doesn't do much to it other than protect it a little bit as an extra layer of protection. However, we do offer a frosted lens that just sits right on top of this tape. And again, we'll work with some flexible connectors. The biggest application probably for that, for using that frosted lens, would be if you're in a direct view situation, or if you just in general need to diffuse the light a little bit more because you are looking at bare LEDs. Now, the other option on top of that is we have full extrusions like this, where we can actually produce a full luminaire. Now, normally NovaFlex will ship tape, flexible product on a reel, cut to length at the factory, which is completely fine. That's, again, the most typical in this scenario. We also have the option of NovaFlex cutting the extrusions and lenses themselves and doing the full installation with the connectors coming from the factory. They normally charge a little bit for that, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the labor for the contractor, it's actually much easier for them to take the product in pieces and do the field assembly because you're laying your tape right into the channel. You're peeling off the 3M and just pushing it right in. So the extrusions themselves, for the line 2.0, there really only are a couple to fully enclose. And this is one of those extrusions. It is a universal extrusion that's meant for a surface mount. Specifically, this is not a recessed version. We don't have that yet. But there are clips that hold this in place as well, or you can just lay it right into your specific application. Again, this comes from the factory in basically 2-meter channels, very easy to cut in the field. I mean, the fact that I cut this myself and put it together can tell you that we're fine, because I am not a contractor. I am a salesman. But it does come with these end caps as well. And you can see this one keeps watertight with screws on the end. We have some cleaner ones that are going to be coming out, but with the line being a newer product, this is kind of our first to market extrusion. This one has a clear lens on it, again, to keep bugs and other debris out of it, but the tape inside of it itself is wet location. And you'll notice we kind of showed this end cap before. Each shipment comes with 2 end caps. This is our solid one. The contractor can't mess that up. And then this is our one with the hole in it. So this is literally our feed end. So when it's laid into the channel, the end cap actually just goes right around that feed point and creates a nice complete IP65 seal. I did see that Amy popped up something on the bottom, and she's absolutely right. Most products from NovaFlex, up to a few thousand feet, can ship within 4 days from receipt of the order. And that's including, all your power supplies, your channels, your lenses, any extrusions and mounting, as well as cutting your material to size at the factory. So again, I talked about our clear tape, our clear lens. This is the much nicer, soft visual comfort. Just like Brian said, this is our soft diffused lens. This does cut down your light output a little bit, but when you're looking at 400 lumens a foot, this probably cuts down not much more than 15 or 20% on this. So we're still getting, a good 350 lumens a foot out of this type of product. It's literally the same extrusion. We just have a different lens. So color temperatures for this product. We go a full range from 2,700 up to 5,000 K on the shelf. We also have static colors: red, green, blue, amber, yellow, and pink. Again, all right at the factory, all cut by the factory. So the one thing to remember with a line voltage product like this, as opposed to our low voltage, line voltage does not want to be cut in the field. We have way too many resistors and parts and pieces on this board. So we don't want to have you do that actually in the field, or your contractor do it in the field. We'll do it at the factory. It is cuttable every 4-inch increments. So remember that as you're specifying. It's very easy to say, I need a 12-foot run of this. We get it out to the field. We notice that it's 11 foot 4 inches. That's no problem. We will take it back. We will cut it, fix it, solder it, and send it right back out to the customer, all within a few days. Or if you have those field measurements ahead of time, a big help for us, again, to cut that in advance. The last thing that Amy did bring up, there is a tunable warm dim option of this. It basically is right now a warm dimming fixture. So it has that color temperature range from 2,700 K to 5,000 K. It's great for your applications like healthcare, educational, institutional places where you are looking to do some of that circadian rhythm in tunable white, but at a much lower price point, because we don't need additional power supplies. We don't need a DMX or a tunable system in there. It's a 120 volt line voltage dimming tunable product. That was pretty much all. Go ahead.
37 seconds.
All right, thank you. The last thing I did want to say that I did forget to mention, color temperature wise on the line 2.0, everything is 90 plus CRI on the white side. Obviously the colors are not. So 90 plus CRI, 2,700K to 5,000K. We have a tunable warm dim option as well. Static colors on the shelf, ready to ship from Minnesota.
These guys also have neon, mini neon, which are solid, side curve, top curve, standard tape, high output tape. So check them out. It's a great value.
Thank you, Amy.
we're still here.
We're going to show you some unique products for both indoor and outdoor today, starting off with Nest. Nest is a CNC machined light in the center. It's IP65. It's greater than 90 CRI. It's 190 lumens. There's a steel frame that supports the Nest. The Nest is actually hand-woven willow twigs. Each one is slightly different. We have a removable cover that can put on top so that we do not get birds nesting in the nest. This is a 120 volt integral driver fixture, 3000 K, 190 lumens, greater than 90 CRI. Next product is Firefly. Firefly comes in 3 different heights. This is the 19-inch. This is the middle one. We have one that's smaller, 11.8. We have one that's longer, 27.6. This is a 2-watt fixture, produces 119 lumens, greater than 90 CRI. This is a remote 24-volt DC power supply. This comes as a bollard with a ground spike or a wiring compartment below grade or a bolt-down base. It's also available in a matching pendant. That's Firefly. Moving to the indoor, we have 3 new surface mount cylinders. We have Stiletto, comes in 4 heights, 4.5 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, and 24 inches. It's available in a static white, 9 watts. It's available in a dim to warm, 6 watts, and RGBW, 5 watts. Stiletto comes in black, white, silver, or polished nickel. We have the Aurora, which is a similar product, but with a small diffusing acrylic lens on the bottom. Still available in static white, dim to warm, RGBW. And then we have Borealis with a large diffusing lens on the bottom. Again, 4.5 inches tall, 6 inches, 9 inches, and 24 inches. There's an integral DMX controller for the RGBW. We do RAL colors on request. Those are the 3 different surface mount cylinders. CSR is our newest steam room downlight. This has a 2-inch aperture. This has the same light engines as the surface mounted cylinders. So we do a static white, we do a tunable or a dim to warm, and we do an RGBW. Steam room fixtures always have remote drivers. Because of the heat in the steam room, we cannot put an integral driver. But what we've done on this one that's kind of unique is that there are no screws in the lens frame. The entire lens frame threads on and threads off. This is an IP65 fixture, suitable for steam rooms. We get questions about saunas. Saunas are a lot higher in heat. Steam room fixture is measured to 60 degrees C room ambient. Saunas are rated at 90 degrees C room ambient, so we only offer halogen fixtures for saunas. We don't have an LED module yet that will take that kind of heat. We do the trims in white, black, silver, IP65. We can do this as a wet label downlight with a integral driver, not steam room. This is called CSR. This will be on our website next week. The last thing I want to show you is our corporate friends showcase lighting. These are miniaturized floodlights or spotlights. They come as track heads, they come as monopoints, they come as downlights. They come as small as this. This is a 1/2 watt fixture. The track is magnetic, the track is 12 volts. We go from a 1/2 watt unit all the way up to a 2.7 watt fixture. These just attach to the track magnetically. Some of these are individually dimmable with a dimming pen. You put the dimming pen against the base, you'll see a little green indicator light coming on. The fixture will dim. Remove the dimming pen and it will stop. If you're using individually dimmed fixtures, and we call it out on our website, which is which, you do a non-dimming remote driver. If you're using fixtures that are not individually dimmed, then you would use a remote dimmable driver. You cannot mix the individually dimmed units with the non-individually dimmed units. They are used separately. The non-individually dimmed, you're going to dim all of them at the same time on the track. The individually dimmed, of course, you're going to be able to dim separately. We have removable cowls so that you can change the optics. We have 8 or 9 different optics for each cylinder. We have little barn doors for these. We have parahex louvers. And we can give you a zooming 2° to 25° zooming lens. In addition to the track, we have light bars. Some of them are with fixtures, some of them are without. And then we have downlights and monopoints. This is Corporate Friends, probably the most sophisticated showcase lighting on the market.
We have a lot of museums in Philly, and I know a lot of you guys do work here and there. So keep an eye out on these. I put the link in. I've had an opportunity recently to manhandle some of them, and they're just beautiful. They're wonderful. They're like little gems, and even with the size and the wattage, I think the light output and the flexibility would really surprise you. So just keep it in mind.
We can do all of the floodlights in 4 different finishes. We can do the track in 3 different finishes. We cannot do the track in white because that will interfere with the connection. So the fixtures can be white, but the track cannot. That's Corporate Friends.
Okay, you have 1 minute and 50 seconds. Got anything else fun and exciting?
No, I'm afraid.
He's got a lot that's fun and exciting.
I got everything that I wanted to get in, I got in.
Okay, all right. Designplan overall, you guys, take a look. They are my go-to for a very wide array of solutions. When I need something unique, but then I need kind of from the same family, something that's a little bit more traditional, both in outdoor and indoor fixtures. They've got a ton of selection and a bunch of different aesthetics. So I hope I said that all right, Richard, but these guys are
that was fine. That was fine. We're going to be introducing over the next month a new range of products from a company called Bright Green out of Australia. Downlights, wall mount, indoor, outdoor. And most of their products are 98 CRI.
Standard?
Standard.
Okay, so something to keep an eye out for, folks.